Hey guys, Coach Jim here, Tower 26 Triathlon Coaching. Today I'm going to bring you a race preview and some race reminders for the HerbaLife 24 Los Angeles Triathlon happening October 24th, 2021. Going to try and keep this brief to about 20 minutes. So I'll go over some good tips, some good course reminders. So you go in the race ready to rock. We'll go over some a race day checklist so you know what to remember when you're packing up your transition bags a couple days before the race. And if you need to slow it down, this will be on YouTube, we'll be on Instagram, and you can slow it down to your speed and take some notes that you may want to take throughout the presentation. So as I said, let's play this keynote presentation. It's HerbaLife 24 Los Angeles Triathlon happening October 24th, 2021. I am Tower 26. Go to tower26.com for more information on all the programs that we offer: swimming, biking, running, and putting all three together. Race day checklist. You're going to have your triathlon kit, the outfit you're going to wear under your wetsuit. This morning, the water temperature was a brisk 62 degrees, so you guys will be wearing wetsuits. Let's make sure you have the correct triathlon kit on underneath. It has a smaller chamois than typical cycling bib shorts, so it's a little easier to run in. It doesn't absorb as much water. So make sure you are set with that triathlon kit. You want 2 sets of goggles, a clear set and a tinted set. If there's a marine layer and it's foggy, you're going to want to wear the clear set of goggles. If it is sunny and cloudless, you're going to wear those tinted set of goggles. There is a good amount of turns on the swim course, so let's be prepared with the correct set of goggles. Like I said, you're going to wear that swimming wetsuit. You're going to have some Vaseline or Glide, something to add a little bit of lubrication between any hot spots that you might have between your skin and the wetsuit. So you're going to put it all around your neck, put it on your cheeks, anywhere that has a tendency to chafe in that rubbing with the wetsuit and the skin. This is a race kit. This is what you wear under your wetsuit. So there's a one-piece race kit on the left, one-piece race kit on the right, a two-piece race kit on the left. Be prepared. You can get that at any triathlon store online or local triathlon store of choice. It's nice and tight fitting. You don't want a lot of wind to get in there, so you want to be able to fit tight. You get on the bike and it's not fitting tight enough. You're going to be like a sail out there and catching a ton of wind. We want it to be tight to the skin so you aren't catching that wind. Some reminders for the bike. You want your helmet, cycling shoes, and socks. If you wear them in training, let's wear them in racing. Sunglasses, water bottles. You need all your nutrition, guys. When you're upping the effort, no matter if you're doing the sprint or the Olympic distance triathlon, which are both happening on Sunday, you need to stay on top of that nutrition throughout in order to keep that effort up. You need your flat kit. There will be on-course support, but it's few and far between. So know how to change a flat tire and have the correct tools on you. And you might need that, or you're going to have that floor pump in your car or in your house before you head out to the race to get those tires nice and pumped up, not too flat before you hit the race. That would be a bad thing. So you want the tire pressure, depending on your body size, anywhere from 80 to 100 PSI. So it depends on body size. Venice Boulevard, which you guys will be riding down for a majority of the ride, has some sketchy asphalt here and there. So you want to be on the lower end of your range of PSI. So if you're usually at 100, go down to a 90 and 95. If you're usually at 85, go down to 80. So you absorb a little bit more of that shock in the uneven terrain of Venice Boulevard. You need your running shoes, race belt, hat, visor, nutrition, salt on you, salt to keep on top of those electrolytes. And you got to make sure you really stay on top of what you need on that run, because on Saturday, and we'll go over this shortly, on Saturday, you're going to have to drop off all of your run gear at the race venue, and then you won't see it again until you get the T2 on race day off the bike. So you have to make note of what you need, make sure you get it in the bag that the race provides, and you have it all in that bag Saturday when you drop it off and you check in for the race the day before the race. So make sure if you think you're going to need it, you put in that bag. And if you don't use it, you don't use it, but include it in the bags, because you're not going to see that bag again until you're in the race conditions. Miscellaneous things you might need. You're going to need that Garmin, Timex, whatever you're going to keep track of all your pacing, your power, your heart rate, your effort, your time on. Like I said, body glide, you're going to need some sunscreen to put on before the race, Vaseline, as I stated earlier, maybe some electrical tape or a little multi-tool in case you need to tighten anything before or during the race. You can keep that in your little change kit. If you have a little small multi-tool, you can keep it in that flat repair kit. Something's loose, you can tighten it on the go. And then a change of clothes for after the race, so you're not walking around in that sweaty, gross stuff as you're collecting your medals and all your post-race food and all that. Here's the weekend schedule. So Saturday, October 23rd, the expo opens at 11 a.m. Elite athletes, you guys are going to meet at 1 p.m. Race tips are going to be at 2 p.m. along with the Meet the Elites at the main stage. 3 p.m. we have your course talk with race director, the one and only Brennan Lindner, the main stage. 5 p.m. all T2 gear bags must be dropped in T2 by 5 p.m. It closes at 5 p.m. So you have to get your stuff in there by 5 p.m. guys. And then the expo closes at 6, where all of your expo exhibitors will be closing everything down. So pay attention to that schedule. Remember, 1 p.m. elite athletes, and actually there's a race tips at 1 p.m. 2 p.m. you meet the elites. 3 p.m. is the race director talk. 5 p.m. everything closes. So you got to get that T2 bags in by 5 p.m. Sunday, race day, 5:30 a.m. transition opens. If any of your family members or friends are racing the 5K, that starts at 5:30. The registration starts at 5:30 down in LA Live. That's where the 5K the alone 5K will happen. 6:30 a.m. the bike tour begins. 6:30 a.m. spectator shuttles begin running to LA Live from Venice, the beach, from the swim start. So there will be spectator shuttles bringing them from Venice to LA Live. 6:30 a.m. is a pre-race meeting in the transition area with Brennan Lindner. 6:45 T1 closes. All the athletes have to be down at the beach. You guys should be down there anyway, starting to get your warm-up in. 7 a.m. morning bag transport departs. So make sure you get everything that you wear to transition in the morning in that morning bag, then drop it off at the morning bag transport. Somewhere around transition, plenty of volunteers will be telling you where that morning bag transport is, and you're going to drop your morning bag with them. So everything you wear except for your swim stuff is going to go in that morning bag. Everything you bring with you is going to go in that morning bag so you can pick it up after the race. All you'll have with you is your goggles, your wetsuit, your swim cap, and then all your bike stuff will be at your bike. But everything else will go in that morning bag. You'll give it to the morning bag transport people, and they will bring it down to LA Live for you. 7 a.m. the elite athletes start. 7 a.m. the 5K run starts down at LA Live. 7:05 a.m. is when the age groups start, and they go off in the age group waves. So when you check in on Saturday, make sure you pay attention to what time your age group is beginning. 7:25 a.m. sprint distance age group start. So if you're in a sprint distance, you guys will start at 7:25. Pay attention to when your start time is. 9 a.m. the first shuttles go from LA back to Venice. So remember, it's located at West Road, right behind the JW Marriott. So they'll go back to the parking lots, which we'll go over in a second, from LA Live to Venice if you need to get down there, get back to the beach. And 10:45 a.m., the awards will be handed out for all those division winners. Sunday race day, you want to wake up early, give yourself plenty of time to eat. Make sure you eat 2.5 hours before your official race time. So if you start at 7:30, 6:30, 5:30, 5 o'clock, you want to eat your breakfast, something that's easily digested, gives you carbohydrates, a little bit of protein, a little bit of fat, something like oatmeal, scoop of jam, scoop of nut butter. Bring a banana to eat about an hour out so you don't get too hungry, something that's easily digested. Start drinking on your electrolytes. So all of us have our electrolyte drink of choice. Don't overhydrate with straight water. You want to stay on top of the electrolytes, aka salt, so you keep that in your system, and it better hydrates your body with that, all that liquid you take in, as long as you stay on top of electrolytes. So sip on a bottle with electrolytes in it. You have all these different choices of electrolytes. So pick your favorite and sip on that throughout the morning. That's something you're also going to want to do all day Saturday, is sip on something with electrolytes on it. Don't just drink straight water. Once you get the T1, make sure you hit the porta potties as soon as you can. Make sure you have your tires full of the PSI of your choosing. Make sure you set up your transition without anything that you don't need. So you're setting up your bike transition in the morning. All you need is your shoes, your helmet, sunglasses. That's it. And your nutrition should be on the bike. So we don't want to bring a bucket. We don't want to bring a stool, anything you don't need, because everything's going to have to be tight. It's a clean transition area, guys. You want to find, when you get to your bike, make sure you find the swim in and the bike out. Where are you going to run into transition? What path are you going to take to your bike? How are you going to take your bike to the transition out? And then get on your bike and go along your way onto the bike course. So know the path you're going to take. So when you're running in and you're all discombobulated going from the swim to the bike, you have that figured out, and it's one less thing for you to think about. Once you get everything set up, they do the pre-race meeting, get out of transition, get down to the beach, go for a little jog, jump in the water, flop around a little bit, you get used to that water temperature. It is cold, so don't spend too much time in there. I'd say 5 to 10 minutes at the most in the water warming up. But you definitely want to get in the water before the race start in order to get rid of that initial ice cream headache you might have in water that's on the colder side. The race morning parking, there's plenty of parking lots around the swim start, which is noted on this map. This is also on the website, guys. So as you see, there's 6 parking lots noted here. So you can park in any of the 6. Jump on your bike, ride it over the transition, because you'll have your transition backpack with only your swim gear in it. So you shouldn't have too much stuff on you. Or if you get there early enough and you park close, you just walk your bike over the T1. So make note of those parking lots. Like I said, there will be plenty of parking lots. There'll be plenty of street parking available. So find one of them and yeah, be confident that you will have some parking in the area. Transition 1 setup. So you're only going to have your bike helmet, bike shoes, sunglasses, and your bike. So it's not like you have to have run gear. You don't need too much, guys. So you're going to have your bike shoes, socks, helmet, sunglasses. Know where your bike is by finding a stagnant object. You're going to run in the transition. There'll be 400 or 500 bikes in there. Look at something that's not going to move, a tree, a porta potty, a set of bleachers, something that you can identify that your bike is next to or parallel with. You can look at that when you're running in the transition and know, hey, my bike is right next to that porta potty. I'm going to run right to that porta potty. You find your bike. You're going to know where swim in, bike out is because you looked at that beforehand. Don't worry about sand on your feet, even though there is a longer beach run from the ocean to the transition. You will be fine once you run in the transition. That sand will just naturally come off your feet. I've raced hundreds of triathlons over the years. I've never had an issue with sand on my feet. Now you're going to receive a bag, a T1 bag, as you check in for the triathlon. When you take your wetsuit, goggles, cap off, you're going to put it in that bag and leave it next to where your bike was. That way that the volunteers can come through after you leave with your bike, collect those bags, and then give it to you after the race, because you are not coming back to T1 to get your bag. They're going to bring it down to the race for you. You're going to collect that with your morning clothes bag. So make sure you put your wetsuit, cap, goggles in that bag before you take off on your bike. So put on your shoes, put on your helmet, and grab your bike. But before you do that, put your wetsuit in your bag so you get that wetsuit back after the race. Swim course, 1,500 meter swim, for the Olympic distance race, 750 meter swim for the sprint race. Like I said, the water temperature is in the low 60s. So wear your swimming wetsuit. Swimming wetsuit gives you buoyancy. Everyone knows that the surfing wetsuit is for agility. The swimming wetsuit is for buoyancy. There's a little more air pockets in the swimming wetsuit. So if you have the option to get a swimming wetsuit, get that swimming wetsuit. It's going to help you float. Olympic, you swim approximately 200 meters out. You make a left-hand turn. You swim across 600, swim south 600 meters towards the Venice Pier. Once you get about 600 meters south, you make a left-hand turn close to the Venice Pier. You swim about 100 meters towards shore. You can make another left-hand turn, swim about 500 meters back in the direction you came from. You're going to make a right-hand turn, the only right-hand turn you're going to make. When you turn back to shore, swim about 100 meters back to shore, and that's where you enter into T1. Sprint, same course, you're just a little shorter. So 200 meters out, left-hand turn, 300 meters across, left-hand turn, 100 meters towards shore, left-hand turn, 50 meters back, right-hand turn, 100 meters back to shore. So just a little shorter in the sprint distance, about half the amount. So just pay attention there. Pay attention to your specific turn buoys. Like I said, the sprint distance racers will be starting at 7:25 a.m. So Olympic distance, follow the Olympic distance course. Sprint, follow the sprint distance course. Ocean entry, ocean exit, which we'll go over shortly. And you have a longer beach run in the transition. Just keep moving through that beach run, whether you're walking, jogging, or running. Just keep moving forward. That heart rate will stabilize. Your blood pressure will stabilize, but it might take a little bit when you go from that horizontal to the vertical position. So it's a beach start, ocean entry. Make sure you guys enter these waves. At Venice, you could have 3 or 4 waves to dive through until you get through that crash zone. You do not want to stop in the crash zone, guys. You always have to be moving forward. So the gun goes off, you run into the water. There's a set of waves coming in. As I showed you on the first slide here, This was LA Triathlon probably about 10 years ago. So they went in a big set. And if you see the people in the front, they're diving under that wave. It doesn't make a difference how big the wave is. You still approach it the same way. That wave's coming towards you. You dive under it. You feel the ocean bottom on your chest. You feel the wave go over your head, and then you pop up again. You keep moving forward. That might happen again. As you're going through the break zone, you have to sight. Look for the next wave, look for the next wave. And everyone that comes towards you, you dive under it, let it pass over your head, then you pop up again and you keep moving forward. These athletes in the back here, they probably just stood, they let the wave crash, push them back, let the wave crash on them, push them back, and they got caught in that break zone. Don't get caught. Dive under the wave, feel the ocean bottom on your chest, move forward. Sight again. You see another wave coming towards you. Dive under it, feel the ocean bottom on your chest, feel the wave go over you. Keep moving forward. Don't stop in that crash zone. Keep moving forward through it. Once you're through it, you'll notice the color of the water changes from a sandy color to more of a clear color. And then you can get into your swim stroke. So it's like I said, ocean entry, ocean exit. Relax, guys. Be crowded at the start. Pay attention to your wave at check-in. You're going to have all of your cohorts around you. It might be a little tight. You're in these cramped conditions. You're in your wetsuit. The water's cold. You got to relax. You have to breathe. If you hold your breath, you let the carbon dioxide build up. That's when hyperventilation starts. If this happens, recognize it and just relax. Know you'll be fine. You just have to relax and let that breathing regulate. Let your heart rate come down and keep moving forward. With a wetsuit on, you're not going to sink. It'll keep you afloat. You just have to relax and let it keep you afloat. Once that breathing settles, like I said, just ease back into that swim stroke. Eventually, you'll find the swim stroke and you will be fine. But don't think because you're hyperventilating, your day is over. You just relax. There's going to be plenty of lifeguards out there to help you out. If you need a lifeguard, put your arm up. The lifeguard will swim over. They have their buoys. They have their paddle boards, and you guys can grab onto one of those. As long as it's not helping you move forward, you're fine to take a break with those guys and just catch your breath while you do. Once you're through the break, like I said, find that nice relaxed swim stroke, sight on the buoys, keep a straight path, and stay as tight to the buoys as you can, guys. If you're 100 meters off the turn buoy, when you approach it, that's an extra 100 meters you have to swim. So sight early and often using the lift, look, breathe method. You lift your head up, look where you're going, turn to breathe, and then bring your head back to center. Lift, look, breathe is something we talk about at Tower 26 all the time. After you make the final right-hand turn, make sure you are looking under your armpit every time you breathe to look at waves that are approaching you from the back. So if you're not looking under your armpit and you're just swimming straight towards shore after that last right-hand turn, there's a chance a wave can come from behind and tumble you. You want to make sure you're looking under your armpit so if you can see those waves approaching. If you see a wave approaching, you stop, you face the wave, and just as when you were entering the water at the start, you dive under the wave, away from shore, let the wave pass over you, and then you keep moving back towards the shore once it has. Waves come in sets of 3 or 4. You might have to do this 3 or 4 times before a lull, and then you can swim back to shore. But you have to make sure you're paying attention and not letting those waves sneak up behind you and tumble you over the top because you weren't paying attention. Face the wave, away from shore, dive under the wave, let it pass over your head, and then turn around and go back towards shore. Once you get to the shore, you stand up. You're going to be a little wobbly. Like I said, take your time running or jogging or walking up the sand in the transition. Once you start to feel better, then you can move a little bit quicker. We do have open water swims at Tower 26 every 7:30 a.m. on Sundays in South Redondo Beach, as well as 6 a.m. Wednesdays at Tower 26 in Santa Monica. Those will be ending pretty soon. So that'll happen next season. But for now, we will have our swim workouts, which we have at tower26.com pretty much every day of the week. So if you're not happy with your swim and you want to get a little stronger in that swim, they're all geared towards triathletes. So tower26.com, you can find more information on that. Transition 1, as you see, the swim start is about 100 meters north of the swim finish. So when you finish the swim, you're going to run into transition 1, which was about 100 meters south of that start. Run into T1, find your bike, and then you're going to exit towards Venice Boulevard on the east side of transition. That's where you're going to run out with your bike, and that's where you're going to start that bike leg of the triathlon. Transition 1, make it snappy. You don't have to be hasty with it, but don't waste time. I always say transition is free time. Pull the wetsuit down as you run to your bike. Identify where your bike is by the stable marker. I put a video together on YouTube at our Tower 26 YouTube page, how to quickly and efficiently get your wetsuit off. I have the link there. but it's some good tips there, and it helps you so you don't have to sit down, pry the wetsuit off and waste valuable time, because after the race, everyone says, if I only would have been a little faster in transition, let's head that off and make sure you're as fast as you can be. So check out that video on how to quickly get your wetsuit off on our Tower 26 YouTube page. If you need to wear socks on the bike, a lot of people ask, should I wear socks? If you do it in training and that's the way you're comfortable, do it. If you don't wear socks in training, don't worry about it. Don't put them on. You'll be fine because you've been training like that. But a blister could ruin your day if you're hasty without putting those socks on. You think, oh, I'm going to save 3 seconds, not put them on. You get a blister because you haven't been doing it. That could add a lot of time to your run. So take that couple extra seconds, put those socks on, and then you are confident that you're going to ride and run the way you know you can. Put the helmet, sunglasses on, grab your bike, carefully run to the mount line. Now the mount line is right outside of transition. You don't just get on your bike and ride it right from your transition rack. You got to grab your bike, walk or jog gingerly out of the bike out banner. On the ground, on the other side of the bike out banner is a mount line. Once you cross that mount line, you can get on your bike, and that's where you start your ride, but you cannot get on your bike before the mount line. The bike course, 24.8 miles for the Olympic distance, 15 miles for the sprint distance. Olympic distance, you have 709 feet of elevation gain. Sprint distance, I don't have the exact amount of elevation gain, but it's not quite as much as 709 feet. But if you look at the elevation map at the 15-mile mark, that's where some climbing ends. So not quite, probably I would say about 400 to 500 feet of elevation gain in the sprint distance. Stay right at all times, move left only to pass another athlete. Make sure you look over your shoulder when you move left and you pass that athlete completely before moving right. Look over your shoulder again. Always anticipate the move and make sure you preemptively look over that shoulder. Make sure nobody's on either side of you before you move left or right. Stay right at all times. Pay attention to the signs. Once you get downtown, guys, as you notice on this map here, the green path is the sprint distance. The yellow path is the Olympic distance. So as you see, the Olympic distance goes past the transition area and does a little more work down Figueroa and Olympic Boulevard and tools around downtown a little bit. The sprint distance is done at Chick-Hearn Boulevard. So pay attention to the signs. Olympic distance, you have to have a whole 40K, 24.8 miles. So make sure you're paying attention to those signs. Once you are finished, same thing as the mount line, there's a dismount line. You have to get off before the dismount line. You don't just ride your bike in the transition. So there'll be a line on the ground. There'll be a volunteer saying, get off your bike here. This is the dismount line. Always be safe, anticipate, always be on the defensive side of riding. We want to keep that rubber side down and keep everything in one piece as we complete this bike. So make sure you're always looking around and you're paying attention in intersections. There are going to be plenty of volunteers and police on course, making sure no one runs through those intersections. But that being said, you always have to be aware as well. You never know. This is Los Angeles. Bike notes, make sure you keep a strong, maintainable effort, steady on the pedals the entire way through. It's fairly flat, 709 feet of elevation and 24.8 miles isn't huge. It's slightly false flat up. So make sure you keep that comfortable cadence as well, 80 to 90 RPM, never grinding too low in the 70s or too high in the 90s. 70s a little too muscular, 90s a little too aerobic. So 80 to 90 is where that strength and efficiency meet in the middle. So keep that cadence, how fast your feet are moving, revolutions per minute in the 80 to 90 range. Stay right at all times, passing the left. As I said, know your gearing, guys. Practice that gearing, changing gears before the race. Most of you are going to want to be in that big ring in the front and just change the cassette in the back. Like I said, it's not too big of any climbing at any time through this race. So big ring in the front, move the cassette throughout the back. That's your right hand for most of your bikes. So you have to move that right hand. And like I said, keep that cadence to the 80 to 90, nice, consistent, strong effort the whole way through. If you're on time trial bike, try and stay aero for the majority of the ride. You can get up and stretch every so often. But if you spent the money on a time trial bike, let's use it to the advantages it is. You're sitting up on a time trial bike, it's like you have a sail on. So let's cut that wind and get into your TT position. Stay present, focused on the process, always aware of your surroundings, always aware of other riders, always aware of traffic, always aware of the road. Pay attention to the road, pay attention to turns, and anticipate things that are coming or could be in your way. Break the distance down in smaller chunks, take it 5 miles at a time. So just ride one segment to the next segment to this next segment. I don't want you getting on the bike at mile 1 and saying, oh man, I have 24 miles to go still. Just ride 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 20, 20 to 24.8. Stay on your nutrition the whole way through. Make sure you're sipping on your electrolyte drink every few minutes. You're taking a gel every 20 to 25 minutes. gel blocks, something that's easily digested. You don't want to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich out there, something that's just going to sit in your stomach. You want these easily digested carbohydrates, gels, blocks, drink. Nothing that's too heavy, because all that's going to do is sit in your stomach and draw blood from the muscles into that stomach to break it down. So you want something that's easily digested. If you need work on your bike, we have a triathlon training program with Tower 26. Go to training.tower26.com for more information there, but it gives you all of your swim, bike, and run workouts for the week. Transition number 2, as you see, it's between Staples Center and LA Live. So you are going to make a left or a right onto the street in between the two. The transition will be located in there. You're going to bike finish in the T2. You're going to run out towards Figueroa Boulevard. So on Saturday, when you drop everything off, make sure you pay attention to that bike in, pay attention to the run out, so you know which way you're going to come in, which way you're going to go out. Because like I said earlier, you're not going to see that till you're in the heat of the race. So let's plan ahead, pay attention to those directions that you're going to pay attention to during the race, so you have it all ironed out when you get there on race day and the money is on the line. Transition 2 setup, all you're going to have is your run shoes, socks, race belt, hat, and visor. It's all going to be in your bag that you leave there on Saturday. So make sure you have it all in there. Like I said earlier, don't forget anything. If you need to add a little extra nutrition, do it. Make sure you have the hat and visor. It is an exposed course, guys. So make sure you have something on your head. Have those sunglasses so you can keep a nice relaxed face in that sun, in that glare. And like I said earlier, have that gel. You also want a race belt, guys, something you can put around your waist as you run out of transition. And you can keep your number on, so you don't have to pin it in that nice new one-piece triathlon suit that you just bought for a couple $100. You don't want to have to put pin marks in that. So a race belt you can get at the expo before the race, or any triathlon store online. Make sure you get that race belt so you can attach your number to it. And as you're running out of transition, you put that around your waist. Know where your bike is. Know where your run bag is. That's a typo there. Know where your run bag is by finding a stagnant object. Like I said, Saturday, when you drop off your T2 gear, look at the bike in and know your path to the run out. You won't see your gear again until race morning. So make sure you include everything you need in that T2 bag that they give you when you check in. And you have to bring all of your run stuff to check-in, because you're going to leave it there when you leave check-in. So make sure you bring it all, and you're going to put it all in that bag before you leave downtown on Saturday. When you go into transition 2, dismount line, like I said, carefully dismount your bike and walk or gingerly jog your bike to the bike rack where you found that stagnant object the day before the race. You know your bag is going to be there. Rack the bike. You can rip that bag open, sit down, put on your socks and your shoes. As you run out of transition, you just grab the rest of your stuff, your hat, your sunglasses, your nutrition, your race belt, and you put that on as you're running. Free time, guys. Don't waste time just standing there putting that stuff on. You can do that as you move. Once again, make it snappy, but not hasty. Don't get all kerfuffled in there. You have everything you need right there. Just think it through. You might need to practice it a few days before the race. Practice your transition. Go into it knowing how you're going to execute. Run course, 6.2 miles for 2 loops for the Olympic distance. Sprint distance, your 5K, 3.1 miles. It's just 1 loop. It's just 2 turns, guys. You come out on the Figueroa, you make a left-hand turn onto Wilshire, run down to the U-turn, you run back, right-hand turn, U-turn, and you do it again for the Olympic distance. Olympic distance, you have 361 feet of elevation gain. Sprint distance, half that, whatever half is, 180.5 feet of elevation gain. You climb into the turnaround out, and then you make a U-turn and you descend back, U-turn, climb out, U-turn, descend back on the Olympic distance. It will be hot with no shade. Make sure you have a hat, visor, and you wear those sunglasses. So there's your elevation map on the bottom. There is your race map on the top. So make sure, if you need to look that over in greater detail, bring this page back up, check it out. It's also on the website. Run notes: at the beginning of the run, your legs will feel heavy after being on the bike, especially because it's a flatter bike, guys. You're not going to be changing up muscle groups that much. So you're going to feel heavy for the first 5 to 10 minutes. Stay with it. Keep moving forward. You'll find that rhythm after 5 to 10 minutes. You did all the training. So just know that you will find that running stride in a few minutes. Just stick with it. Once you loosen up, find it that hardest maintainable effort. Remember, you're racing, guys. Get after it. Stay on that effort. In order to do that, stay on top of that nutrition. Once again, same thing on the bike. Do it on the run. Every 20 to 25 minutes, you're taking in a gel, something that's easily digested, maybe some blocks if you can't take the gel. On the way out, you're going uphill, quick turnover, lean into the climb up. When you make the turnaround, that's when you can open up that stride a little bit and let those legs roll. But lean into the climb, keep that turnover, keep that run cadence up. As you did on the bike, break it down in smaller chunks, take it 1 mile at a time. Make sure you're running your race, guys. If you're used to training and practice at 8-minute per mile pace, don't take it out at 6:30 pace and expect to stay there. Run in the parameters that you've thought up before the race and go out there and execute within yourself. I'd rather you start on the strong but conservative side and finish fast than start too fast and limp over the finish line. So be smart in your pacing, be smart in your strategy. Remember the bad wolf, that little voice that says you should slow down. This hurts too much. Will be piping up throughout the race, especially in Olympic distance or sprint distance race where the effort is of maximum output. It will pipe up. Just turn it off by focusing on the present and taking it 1 mile at a time. Finish strong, guys. You don't want to take it out too strong and finish weak. Take it off out, like I said, but conservatively strong, and finish fast. Remember, guys, Tower 26 has all the tools you guys need to be successful on race day, whether you're racing an Ironman, half Ironman, Olympic distance, sprint distance. We have everything that will benefit the triathletes. So go to tower26.com for all the different options, whether you're just a swimmer, a triathlete, you need the whole swim, bike, run program, you need one-on-one coaching. We can do all of it. We have the Tower 26 Be Race Ready podcast, the #1 podcast in triathlon, available anywhere that you get your podcasts. All the questions, contact at tower26.com or jim@tower26.com. I will take care of those. And it's been a pleasure, guys. Hope you guys got a lot out of this. Remember, ask those questions on the comments on YouTube, on the comments on Instagram, or wherever else you see this, and I will find that and get the answer to you ASAP. Thanks for joining, guys. We'll see you out there on race day. Bye.